Hello there everyone. This video is going to be more just open thoughts. It's going to be a little bit of, not a lot of editing, because I'm kind of in a rush today, and also like when my thoughts flow free, there we go, as an example, because then you get an idea of where I'm going. Sometimes I'll talk myself into something else, and you kind of see the progression there. Now, my initial thoughts on this DLC, the Butcher Circus here, is it is fun. If you watch the past couple of my fight videos, you might think I've been trash talking it, where I don't think I actually enjoy it. That is incorrect. I do enjoy it. It's just very different. So the things I really like about it, for the most part here, if you look up at all of these characters, I have pretty much seen strategies with all of them used very effectively. Honestly, the biggest person I probably don't see used the most effectiveness is probably the Hellion. Yeah, and I would still stand by that. All the other classes are pretty good, honestly. I've seen a huge mixture of everybody. I don't see a lot of grave robbers, but when I do, I feel like they work pretty well. But I don't think I've lost too many grave robbers. They were big in the initial stress strategies because of that big 30 she can do with the blight, the DOT, and then if you use other stuff on her, such as someone recently ran in an occultist invis plus 50% stress combo against me. One of her daggers did like 50 stress damage in one turn. Utterly ridiculous, but she is very squishy and she can be marked down quickly. And the only reason why I say that Hellion isn't all that great, I haven't really lost to her much, is her breakthrough is not that good, and her barbaric yawp can just be taken off by a Arbalest flare, which she is very popular right now in the mark strategies, obviously. So having someone who's going to be solely just reducing people's accuracy getting countered by flare isn't particularly going to be something that's going to last very long or be very effective, and I don't think her damage is all that great. So I've really given up on the Hellion trying to fit her in strategies. I just don't think she's all that great. But yeah, other than that, the heroes are well balanced. There's obviously ones that shine out very well: the Crusader, the Bounty Hunter, Man-at-Arms, Jester's pretty good. Any real mark combo, those are probably like the top 4 or 5. And then really strong mentions are actually, I think, the Shield Breakers, the Highwaymen, Jesters are pretty darn good. So those are definitely people that are strong. The Vestals can be good unless you have compositions that shuffle, then you get utterly ruined, which is going to segue into my next point here. I love the fights, but honestly they can be way too one-sided. And that's because not of the skill of the other person sometimes. Since you have to pre-pick your party as you see down here, this is obviously a DOT stress lineup with these two, with a stun control / stress, and then obviously a moving with slam, or I can obviously rage, rake, or do these other things. So it's a combination of stress and damage party, because obviously the DOTs will begin to take you out. And the Abomination actually offers pretty good damage to slam. It's minus 25% damage, but still, you can easily do between like 8 to 15 on that. And if it's critical, it's a 23 crit, which is probably more than enough to put people halfway on most individuals. So it's still pretty darn strong. Shuffles the enemy party, and then you can go into the nice stun of the Crusader, which is still, it's 50%. So you can still do between 5 and 10 damage, crit on like a 13 or a 15. It's still very good. It's still enough damage to not only remove somebody, but also do that. And then Hound's Harry can do 2 to 3 damage to 2 DOT. This can do 2 to 3 damage. Well, about 1 to 2 with obviously 2 DOT. So you're looking at about 8 damage in one turn. And then, that's going to stack obviously as your DOTs go up. So it can actually be a very effective Death's Door party, especially if you're ruining the enemy's ability to heal or just general attacks with the ability of slam and stunning. So it's a very strong party. Now this party does have weaknesses. Let's say I go against somebody who just can't have individuals getting constantly pushed to the back. It doesn't mind if individuals get pulled to the front. They might have an ability to auto back them, such as like if I pull a Musketeer here, she might just buckshot one back. And you're like, okay, well now, so let's say I pull from 4th to 2nd, but then she buckshots, sending that what the second person would be here, but now 2nd goes back to 2nd. But let's say I put a leper in here, where actually the famous example really is a really good one's the Bounty Hunter. So let's just throw in a Bounty Hunter. Let's say he gets slammed and he gets knocked to 4th. Well, I don't particularly like my Hellmaster back there, because maybe now, well, in this situation that'd be okay, but let's say you had a, I don't know, Well, I guess this is what the order would be. But let's say if that was your Vestal and you really want to use Divine Grace, but now she's in the front, which means she can also get hit with other abilities, and not anyone's going to particularly back well here. So sending this individual forward is kind of annoying. May not be the best example on the fly. But another thing is with Crusaders, if the Crusader gets knocked to the back, he can Holy Lance his way back to the front, but that means he's not stunning or doing stress damage, and Holy Lance, it's a strong ability, but in this game mode, it's definitely probably one of his weaker ones. So you either revert him into a healer, or you have to slowly creep him up just to get slammed way to the back there, and then your Vessel goes there, and then your Houndmaster goes there, and then you gotta repeat the process, right? So when you run into a party when you run into a party who does that, it's not that you weren't exactly, bad in that fight. It's just your party has that one weakness, and you happen to run into that one weakness. Some parties are much more better against mark strategy, some are better against DOT, some are really good against stress, some are a heavy dodge strategy if you don't bring someone like the Shield Breaker to obviously bypass guards. So if someone wants to do a high dodge, high dodge cheese composition is what I wanted to say. This isn't like how you do it, but it's going to be an example just real quick on the fly here. I do know which trinkets I need. So it's 42 dodge, right? And let's say if I go first, it's 57. And then if I use this one, it's 77 dodge. And someone's accuracy is 100. You have a 23% chance to hit me. Oh, what's that? Because, I like having fun in the game. I suddenly take Bolster along. Now I have 87. I have 87 dodge. You have a 20% chance to hit me. Even if you bring in a Jester who can use this once, you get 20 accuracy. It's only 40. So you can see where that gets kind of stupid. And like I said, there are ways around that. The Shield Breaker can obviously unguard the person you're guarding, and then you just focus them down because they can't be regarded for X amount of turns. Or there's people, if you can hit them, you get the debuff, you get the minus dodge. And that's what I'm saying. You can beat a high cheese dodge party. You just have to anticipate it. And why bring people anticipating it if you run into it 1 out of every 5 matches, right? You play the numbers game, what works more often. You just feel kind of silly when you walk into somewhere and you go, ah, crap. Like, you kind of feel like it's a loss already because you had no moment to prepare. And the RNG incidents, I've kind of already talked about it, but I'll just talk about it one more time. RNG, for the most part, will not win you games. And I know some people say it will. When I say it won't win you games, it won't win you games reliably. You will occasionally get a win or two, or certain situations will go your way, allowing you to creep into games you may not have any business being in. It has happened for me, and it has most certainly happened against me. You kind of have to take it as you go. So, with that being said, it exists. It's going to be there. If you want a game where if you do something, it happens, do not play this mode. It's going to drive you bonkers, as it kind of does to me at moments. It's not that I need it to be 100%, but when you have a 90% chance to hit and then you miss, and that's your first turn, and then the game can just feel over sometimes right from there. It's obviously not over, but it can feel like it. That's how important a stun can be, or important a stress damage can be, or an infliction pass is so important. So there's a lot of things that can happen, and if they don't, if you don't like that style of game, obviously don't do that. And finally, let's talk about Death's Door and stress comps and all that. Those final 2 points. I don't think the base death blow should be 75%. I think that's way too high, and it can lead to a lot of moments and heavy reliance on the ability to finish him onto the bounty hunter himself, obviously. 50% gives you 75% chance to kill. And then if you play the game long enough, there's a bounty hunter item, 10, so you get an 85%, right? Okay, that's practically going to allow you to one shot. And even if you do hit someone on Death's Door the next turn, you get finish them again, they're probably dead. So that's why you probably see so many bounty hunters. It's such an easy reliance to get past that ridiculously high Death's Door. So I think what they should do is just back it down to 50, and then maybe back down some of the other Death's Door chances. Maybe cut them in half, minus 10%, whatever, Find that sweet spot where it's about the same, but bring down the initial one to 50%, because it's ridiculous how many times you have to hit some individuals to get them to actually just die. Also, stress comps, I think they're slowly phasing out. I've faced a couple, but I think with some of the mark strategies coming out and some of the the shuffling with Slam, the Leper's Purge, with those coming out. I think they're really ruining those. They're bringing certain individuals forward. They're taking people out of their stress positions, such as the Crusader used to be a big one, right? And we just talked about that. Sending him from 2nd to 4th can ruin a stress composition, because plus 20, and then if you obviously put a trinket on, you get him to like plus 28. Where is it right there? Yeah, plus 15%. So you can literally ruin a stress comp in one slam. So I think stress comps have been slightly figured out. They're still really annoying, but I don't think they're nearly the same impact they used to be. Now, Bellow, as we said before, that crap's still annoying. It's still going to exist. People are going to still, do it with the, just because I'm going to create little monsters in here if for some reason you haven't done it yet. Oh, where's the trinket? Yeah, 25% stress damage versus bleeding, and then obviously you just pair that with a Houndmaster, and then next thing you know, you're popping off for about like 15, 16 stress damage per Bellow, plus the Houndmasters. How much is that? 12, and then if you give him something that does 15, you're getting like 30 stress damage per each skill, and then obviously you can hook that up with any other individual you want. Anticorium's popular. You can get to 40 across everyone. It gets stupid how fast you can do that. So that's not the point of this video, but I do think stress comps are slowly degrading a little bit. And finally, one other thing I would love to see, DOTs need to do something to death blow. It either minuses the percent based on how much DOT you have. So let's say you have like 15 DOT on you, you're at 75%, it just takes away 15%. Next turn, let's say that DOT ticked down to 9, you lose 9, and now you're at 51%. Because when you tick out, I believe you don't take stress or anything, so you really should get hurt by still having DOT on you and unresolved. Eventually, if you go to 0% on death's door with DOT on you, it should just straight up kill you. There should be no rebuttal. You should just die because you've allowed 75 points of DOT damage to happen to you on death's door, or you've been hit that low regardless. Those were my tips. Those are my thoughts on the current Butcher Circus. I am enjoying it. I'll keep playing it. I don't think the meta is too stale yet, and hopefully it doesn't. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for waiting for this lull. Like and subscribe below.